Where would you stay longer? Somewhere you felt like you were learning and growing every day, or somewhere you felt like you were wasting away? Today, we're going to talk about the importance of learning and development in employee engagement. So in this video, we're going to talk about why learning and development is so critical to the engagement and retention of people. I'm going to share some stats to back that up, and I'm going to help you understand some simple creative things that you can do, whether you have budget or you have no budget at all, to help make sure that your people feel like they're learning and growing every day. Now, I want you to think for a second that every single one of our employees is on a journey. Our ability to do great work means that we have the people in our organization to be able to do it. And if you ever lost a really great employee, you know how much effort it takes to replace them. And if you want your people to stick around, they need to feel like they're learning and growing every day. And a great way to think about this is that each one of our people is on a journey. And many times they don't know what that destination is. I don't know about you, I still am trying to figure out what my end destination is. But we need to feel like we're moving along that road and that we're progressing and we're moving forward to be able to accomplish and live the lives that we want to live inside of work, but even more so to be able to live the life that we want to outside of work as well. A good friend of mine told me a great story. He said when he sat down in his late 20s on the first day of work with a manager, his manager sat down and said, "Hey, I understand that this job is just a stop along your career journey. And my goal is to make sure that while you're here, you're developing the skills and having the kind of experience that moves you forward." And he goes, that manager sitting down and letting me know that on the first day, one, it sent a signal that he really cares for me. And two, it removed the pressure that I had to stay here for my whole career. But as a leader, if you want your people to stick around, they need to realize that this is a place where they're going to learn and grow. And another thing that's important to understand, what people want on day one to learn and grow is not what they're going to want at 1 year and at 2 years and 3 years. And the only way to understand that is to be able to ask them. And we'll talk more about that later on in this video. So what's the business case for employee development? Well, research that was done by Gallup found that there was 11% increase in profitability when employees said that my company invests in my growth and development. If you go to the Gallup Q12, which are the 12 things that research over the last 30 years by Gallup has found are the things that are most critical to the engagement and retention of people, 2 of those 12 things are around employee development. Question 6, is there somebody who encourages my growth and development? And question 12, in the past year, do I feel like I've had opportunities to learn and grow? So growth and development is critical to the engagement and retention of our people if we want to keep our people around. So if we want to be more profitable, if we want to keep and retain our people, then growth and development matters. Next, I want to expand our definition of growth and development. Now, one thing that I find, especially working in leadership development and as a keynote speaker, is many people think that growth and development is attending a conference, taking a workshop, or attending a training, or going to an event, where what you probably already know is that most of our growth and development actually happens on the job. But the problem is, many times we're so busy and we're head down in the work that we don't even realize that we're growing every single day. And that's why it's critical that leaders learn how to have, one, career development conversations, which, by the way, check out the video on my channel, How to Have Career Development Conversations, where I walk through every single step of the process in more detail. But the second one is how to draw out the learning in everything we're doing. Now, one great thing that leaders can do is at the end of each week, just asking people, what's one thing you got better at this week? What's one thing you accomplished and how did you grow? Remember, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, having conversations with people, what skills have you improved? What can you do faster now than you could do before? And when we have those conversations, it moves people away from looking at where they're not and getting them present to where they are and how far they've come. So one of the first things as leaders, if we really want to help people learn and grow, is we need to understand their goals. And a great thing is in the beginning of the year is to ask your people, hey, in the year ahead, how do you want to grow personally? And how do you want to grow professionally? And many times people don't even know how to answer the question. And this is in the other video that I just mentioned there. But one thing you don't want to do is sit there and try to pull it out of them. If they don't know, give them the assignment. Say, great, in our next one-on-one, I want you to come back ready to share. How are some of the ways that you want to grow personally this year, and how do you want to grow professionally? If they come back and they're still not prepared, then push it out to the next week. You need to put the work on them. Don't try to spend all your time drawing it out of them. And like I said, check out that other video where I even give you scripts on how to be able to do that. that. Okay? But once you understand their goals, then you can craft experiences to help them develop it. Hey, I want to get better at public speaking. Great. You know what I want you to do? I want you to actually lead the presentation in our next team meeting. Or you know what? You're really good at doing X activity on our team. I'd like you to actually design and run a training to show other people on our team how to do that thing. Or maybe the person's like, you know what, I really want to get better in closing sales. Well, great. What I want you to do is I want you to observe my next 3 sales and how I close them and the conversations. And afterwards, we're going to sit down and debrief how it went. Or what you can do as a leader is if you know they want to develop a specific skill, help them connect with people who are going to help them develop it. I once worked with an organization, a leader's like, I think this person on my team is going to be the CEO of the company at some point in time. She's studying to be a lawyer right now. I'm like, do you think she wants to be the CEO of a company or do you think she wants to be a lawyer? I'm like, she's probably going to leave in a couple months when she gets bored in the job. Instead, do you know somebody who's in that area of law that she's studying that you can connect her with? Because you finding her a mentor who's going to help her get where she wants to is probably going to have her stick around your organization longer. And in fact, it did. She ended up staying for 2 additional years when she probably would have left because she got a mentor who supported her while she went through law school. So in all of it, we want to make sure that we're not just designing learning to accomplish what we want to accomplish, but we're designing learning in support to help them along the journey they're on in their personal life. And when we do, they may just spend more time with us. Now, the last thing that I want to point out, and there's another video on my channel called Lessons on Leadership from a Tomato Plant. And you'll hear the whole analogy in there. But one of the insights that happened, and this was growing tomatoes with my daughter, and make sure you don't miss the video. It's an old one, but it's a good one. Is one of the things that we often forget is as leaders, we get comfortable in people doing a certain role. And when we were growing some tomato plants, we realized that the plants would only grow as tall as the pot that they were in. And there's something that happens where the roots, and they go out and hit the side of the pot, and it sends a signal to the plant to stop growing because there's no more space. And so one of the ways we hold people back is we keep them doing a job that is helpful to us, but they're not growing anymore. And so when you have a person who's doing a repetitive task and they're really good at it, maybe that's what they want right now because they've got a young kid at home and they don't have the mental time and energy to be able to do that. But if they do want to grow, we need to expand the pot they're in. And this may be by having them do stretch assignments, asking them to train other people like I shared in the last assignment. But remember, many times we stunt growth by keeping people in a position. So if that person is ready to move up, but there's no positions on the team, then you want to help them find opportunities elsewhere. And that may be outside of your company. Now, many people cringe when I say that in my workshops and in my keynotes and my trainings. But think about this. If an employee stays and they're not learning and growing, what they're going to be doing is spending time applying for other jobs. Now, would you rather be the catalyst that helps them find a job that moves them forward? Because guess what? When a new opportunity shows up in your company, where are they going to go? They're going to come back or they're going to refer people. But if you suck them dry and let that plant die in the pot, guess what? They're going to leave resentful and angry, and they're going to tell other people that's not a place where you want to grow. So now let's move into talking about some unique learning opportunities. Now, I've already shared some of them, which is finding people mentors. And many times people get stuck on trying to put a formal mentoring program together, but many times just make an introduction and then show people how to do it, or end up being the mentor of that person if they want to mentor. Don't try to mentor people who don't want to be mentored. That's not necessarily what they're looking for. So now let's talk about some creative things that you can do to be able to create learning opportunities and development opportunities, whether you have a budget or not. Well, one that I already talked about is helping people find mentors. Help people understand the best way that they can learn and grow. Many times our people are so busy, they want to learn and grow, but they're so head down, both at work and in their personal life, that they don't think about these things. So you asking those questions about how they're learning and growing and the things that they want, how they want to develop, when you understand that, you can help them find that. Hey, you know what? I can find you. You know what? You need to talk to so-and-so. They'd be a perfect mentor for you. Here's how you could craft that message, and I'll make an introduction. That's a great way to help people get the learning and development without spending a cent. Now, another one is create learning missions. Now, this is something I did with my 9-year-old daughter, and I wanted her to get better about navigating the city that we live in. And so one morning, we had nothing to do all day. So what I did is I said, okay, great. We are going to go to this festival that's about 4 stops away on the metro. Here's $20. I'm going to be with you the whole time, but you can't ask any questions. I'm just going to be there to make sure you're safe. She had the $20. She had to go figure out how to get a Metro card, how to put money on the Metro card, how to go through the Metro, how to find her way to the stop I told her to get to. Was she nervous? Yes, but she figured it out, and now she knows how to read Metro signs, how to get a Metro card, and all the rest. Now, think about doing the same thing within your business. Create a learning mission for people. Hey, you know what? You want a challenge? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to lead our next team meeting, and I want it to be about X. Hey, I want you to give our next presentation. Hey, I want you to do all the preparation for the meeting with the CEO, and I want you to attend it with me. Create a learning mission that stretches their ability and pushes them to do things that they're not comfortable about, and then afterwards, sit down and debrief with them. Now, some other simple things that you can do, TED Talk Tuesday. Pick a TED Talk, have people get together, watch the TED Talk, and then ask questions and review it. Another one is invite people to give presentations on topics or subjects that they're passionate about. Have them put the presentation together, present to your team, and train others in things that they're good at. And that, I just want to put a note in that one as well. If you have somebody who's really exceptional at a skill that other people on your team could benefit from, then bring them in and have people ask them questions about how they do what they do. There's few better ways to help people understand how good they are at something than giving them the opportunity to show other people how to be good at it as well. And then the last one, and the simplest one, is just get in the habit, and by the way, I do this at home with my daughter each day, is when we get so busy, we forget to get present to the progress we've made. So just get in the habit of, in your one-on-ones, in your team meetings, and even at the dinner table, just ask people, what's one way that you grew today? How are you better today than you were yesterday? And get people present to it, and they'll get more present to their learning and growth. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you check out some of the other ones on the channel, specifically how to have career development conversations and how to give clear instructions. 2 really great videos to help you grow as a leader and as a manager. And make sure you go to my website, beyondthankyou.com. I have a newsletter where I send out other tips and tools and simple ways that you can have some of the conversations that matter most with your people. And if I can help you in any way, just reach out to me at beyondthankyou.com.